What's up, YouTube? It's your boy Infinite Gains, and we're back with another GME and AMC update video. So yeah, we obviously had the share dilution news, and we dumped off that. So that was pretty brutal. But we did just drop back into our liquidity zone, found support there. So we're not doing too bad. It's nothing crazy. It's nothing. I'm not freaking out about this stuff. That's the whole reason why I was even making this video. Is like people were really freaking out about this. But so we had 28 mil volume today. So probably tomorrow or the next day they will be able to fully complete the offering. So it's still the same idea as last video. It just changed the way that it looked. So instead of this being your spring test, and then you have maybe your LPS up here at some kind of higher level, you just came back down off this news into a secondary test. So the idea is still the same. Like, you are going to hit the $30, like, regardless, right? So like this is like your shakeout period, right? Spring shakeout, and then you still sign a strength at $30, and you go back into a markup period past May high. So this, like, you're seriously like you're like in the last iteration. You're like in the last iteration of this. So you're running in a marathon, and I don't want you to you're right at the finish line. You see the ending, and then you just dip. So at this level, the same idea from last vid stands. Like, this level should hold. Worst case scenario, like, they continue the dilution into tomorrow, and we drop down to maybe the daily 200. But this is still, for me, a buying opportunity. I bought the freaking dip. It's like, if you're not degening into weeklies, if you've been DCAing, if you've been having a good strategy with your options, maybe you're buying leaps out of the money, maybe you're actively managing them, like, you shouldn't be freaking out about this. And it's like, we're perfectly fine, structure's still fine. Things like this happen. I didn't have dilution news in my cards, but things like this happen. So it is what it is at this point. So on the 15 minutes, we did bounce off our value area low at around 1931. We did actually make it above this kind of high volume node here. So if we can kind of try to recover tomorrow, if they can announce, hey, we finished that dilution, if we can make our way back up to finish the scat fill sometime at the rest of the week, maybe next week or something like this. But really, this area should hold. This is, it just looks like to me this kind of secondary retest, off this dilution news, because the dilution itself really wasn't crazy. It was like 5%, 20 mil shares. Like, we could eat that up in a day or two, and they raised another 400 bill cash. So we're still looking fine. Maybe you could look at it as like, hey, we actually kind of retested this triangle here. If you want to look at this, where, like, you're kind of retesting this kind of breakout here. AMC, AMC didn't even care. It was like, I'm good off all that stuff. AMC didn't even care about it. It was like, I'm good. It's still trading in its pennant. It's still above its daily 200 SMA. So it's actually 100 SMAs curling up. They're about 4 cents apart here. So this green line is your daily 100. This red is your daily 200. So this is a very bullish cross up of your 100 crossing up above your 200. So we still have the same idea. It should cross up. You should break. You should break out of your pennant pattern here. You should break this midline, which is also kind of your line of your head and shoulder, reverse head and shoulder pattern here, like this. You should break this midline at around $6. Break up out of your pennant. Break this descending line here. It's the same ideas from last video, guys. Like, I get it. Days like these suck. You can't really predict dilution news, so it is what it is. You just gotta pick yourself up and brush the dirt off. When I talk about the Wyckoff schematic, it's not just a schematic about price action. It's also a schematic about psychology. you know, when you come down and you have a spring like this, you know, there's a lot of fear, there's a lot of FUD, there's a lot of people freaking out, man. And they're like, it's all over, it's all over. And then you come back up, and then you have 2 shakeout periods. And again, people are really, really freaking out. So, you know, for me, it's just like, calm down, have patience. We're in the last little iteration here. This is a marathon, you know, and you can finally see the finish line here. So, you know, even if we slip a little lower, it's still fine. We have the daily 200 as support. I really don't want to break that, so that's something that you should be paying attention to. But I'm still of the same opinion as my last video. Yeah, I didn't predict dilution or whatever, and we dumped. So, you know, shit happens. Anyways, that's kind of the whole video. It's like, just have patience at this point. I know people are really, really freaking out, but I'm not. I mean, I wake up in the morning, have my cup of coffee, and go out and do the same stuff that I do every single day. I'm not really worried about this stuff. So anyways, that's the whole update video, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out.